A hospice nurse named Bronnie Ware spent years caring for people in their final weeks. She asked them one question: what do you regret? Their answers were shockingly similar, and almost every single regret was avoidable. Researchers later analyzed over 26,000 regrets from people worldwide. They found the same patterns, the same mistakes, the same missed chances. In this video, I'm breaking down what people regret most at every age, and exactly how to make sure you don't end up with the same list. Here's the first thing you need to know. Psychologists discovered that regrets of inaction, things you didn't do, hurt far more and last far longer than regrets of action, things you did wrong. The job you didn't apply for, the person you didn't ask out, the trip you didn't take. These haunt people for decades. The mistakes you made, you get over those. The chances you never took, those stay with you forever. This is called the inaction bias, and it explains almost every regret you're about to hear. If you're in your 20s, listen carefully. Research from the National Institutes of Health found that young adults regret leisure and relationships more than anything else. Not work, not money. They regret not traveling when they had the chance, not speaking up when it mattered, letting fear stop them from taking risks. A 2024 survey found that 40% of people regret not speaking up in crucial moments. 36% regret not visiting family or friends enough. Here's the pattern. Young people feel intense shame about their regrets. They blame themselves. They think they've ruined everything. But research also shows that older people look back at the same regrets and feel almost nothing. The pain fades. The lesson remains. So if you're young and carrying regret right now, know this: you will survive it. But don't let that comfort stop you from acting differently tomorrow. If you're in your 30s or 40s, this is your danger zone. A study in Frontiers in Psychology found that middle-aged adults report the most work and family regrets. Not because they're unhappy, because they're finally seeing the cost of their choices. The promotion that cost them their marriage. The overtime that cost them their children's childhood. The career they built for status instead of meaning. A survey of 2,000 people over 65 found that 40% regret not saving or investing earlier. 32% regret not traveling more. 29% regret not chasing their dreams. And the one that keeps coming up, staying in a relationship they should have left sooner. Psychologists call this inertia. You don't choose to stay. You simply don't choose to leave. And years later, you look back and realize the unknown would have been better than the familiar misery. If you're over 60, you already know what I'm about to say. A survey of 2,000 Americans over 65 found their top regret was not spending enough time with family and friends. Not money, not status, time with people. 38% wish they had spoken up more. 37% regret fighting with loved ones. And the one that destroys people, letting important relationships fade. Not because anyone did anything wrong, because nobody called, nobody texted, everyone got busy, and suddenly years had passed. Dr. Harold Schwartz, who works with elderly patients, said something that stopped me cold. At 75 or 80, it's pretty hard to start a business you should have started 40 years ago. But it's not too late to focus on the relationships you let slide with the people still in your phone. Now here's the research that ties everything together. Daniel Pink analyzed 26,000 regrets from people all over the world. He found they all fall into 4 categories. Foundation regrets, if only I'd done the work. Boldness regrets, if only I'd taken the chance. Moral regrets, if only I'd done the right thing. And connection regrets, if only I'd reached out. The most common regret on the entire planet, connection. Not money, not career, not health, connection. The friend you didn't call, the family member you didn't forgive, the love you didn't express. One woman in Pink's research had a friend who was deeply ill. She thought about calling for weeks. She worried it would be awkward. When she finally did, her friend had died that morning. This is what regret looks like. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just a phone call that never happened. But here's the twist that changes everything. Research from Tilburg University found that older people actually report fewer regrets than young adults, not because they have less to regret, because they've learned something young people haven't: how to let go. Older adults feel less anger, less frustration, less shame when they think about past mistakes. They've had more time, more distance, more perspective. The happiest people in the world, according to neuropsychologist Eric Zilmer, live in the present, unburdened by regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. This isn't about forgetting. It's about forgiving yourself, others, the circumstances, and moving forward. So how do you avoid becoming someone with a deathbed full of regrets? 3 things. First, act on your boldness regrets now. The thing you're afraid to do, that's probably the thing you need to do. Second, repair your connection regrets today. Send the text, make the call, say the words. The person you're thinking about right now, reach out to them. Third, accept your foundation and moral regrets. You can't change the past, but you can change what you do with it. Research shows that simply writing about your regrets reduces their intensity, improves sleep, and protects your health. The act of naming your regret is the first step toward releasing it. Comment below with one thing you're going to do differently after watching this. One call you're going to make. One risk you're going to take. One apology you're going to offer. Your future self is watching this video right now. Don't let them down. If this video moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe to Mind Connect and turn on notifications. I make videos that make you think deeper, get smarter, and actually change your life. Share this with someone who needs to hear it before it's too late.